Hey everybody, Tony Johnson here, Customer Experience Leader. Welcome to your Live at 5:30 experience. And today we're going to actually talk about safety. So, as I was walking through a local establishment, I actually had to make an emergency run to the grocery store. And as I was out, socially distancing and doing all the right things there, I was watching an interaction between a cashier and a guest, and both of them had face masks on. And so, this created a real hullabaloo when they were trying to communicate because you really couldn't tell if either one was talking. One, the guest was very soft spoken, and they really were having some trouble communicating because they were trying to talk, but you really couldn't tell. And I don't know if you're like me, you sometimes get as much from someone's communication by watching their facial expressions and their lips move as you do actually hearing the words. And so there was a real, again, communication breakdown going on there, all because both parties were actually wearing masks. And so when I think about safety, and I think about this idea of coming back to normal, and again today, there are, I think, at least 4 or 5 states that are talking about opening up some more items by the end of the week. So, tomorrow, I think some states, Georgia, I think was one that was in the news. I know Florida has already been opening beaches. There's talk of bowling alleys and some restaurants and things like that starting to reopen. So really think about what that's going to mean, because we have to be ready not only to be safe, but to make sure we can still preserve the guest experience, that customer, that consumer experience. And so today I'm going to walk through some of the safety pieces, and this is really kind of fresh out of my framework, the Great Service Comeback framework that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. And that framework is safety, is quality, is hospitality, and of course simplicity. So today let's dig in on the first one. And if you're looking for any of the information we're going to talk about today, you can actually get it on my Great Service Comeback checklist. This is an activation checklist that will help you start up with the very best way possible. You can get that at igniteyourservice.com/checklist. And it's also a supplement to the Great Service Comeback. So please take a look at that, get the full checklist. But as we talk about what it means to be safe, there are a couple of pieces here. So first and foremost, how are you going to keep your customers safe? And that's going to mean having the right cleaning chemicals for the job, using them in the right way, and please know, train your teams that more chemical doesn't always mean more clean. I actually spent a lot of time in the restaurant business, and during that time, there were many times when they would actually mix together like lime away and bleach and stuff like that, and that actually will form a noxious chemical that might actually knock you out. Or, I've seen people free pouring chemicals as opposed to following manufacturer's directions. Again, more doesn't always mean better. More can also mean dangerous. So just be sure people are on task there. And this also goes part and parcel back with making sure that, again, if you're wearing face masks, make sure everyone can communicate and hear each other, like we talked about at the outset of the program. Make sure that you're taking a look at your line spacing. So as you put people back into queue, you may have to look at how you separate people. And I was at Publix and at Lowe's and some places like that, and I've seen some tremendous markings on the floor about how to keep people apart. I was even looking at some pictures from Shanghai Disney yesterday, and they're starting to reopen parts of that park. And they actually have, if you imagine the roller coaster with 2x2 seating, every other seat was blocked off. So every row of 2 people only had 1 person in sort of a zigzag through there. So again, half capacity, but they're thinking through how they safely space people both in the lines with signage right there on the floor. And then also, what does that look like on the right itself? You're going to have to do the same kind of thing in your business. However you set up your areas. If you're a restaurant, what do your tables look like? If you're a retail venue, what does your cashiering look like? If you're a muffler store or an auto parts store, how do you space out all the things on your end cap so that people can actually start to look at those things but not get too close together? These are the things you really have to start thinking about. My biggest recommendation to you is, even if you haven't reopened your business yet, go visit your business. Go walk in there, go walk around the space. You can't do this from your home. I think, as you think about this, you've got to get to your business. You've got to walk in there. Of course, you can't open yet in a lot of places, but go in and actually walk the spaces, because you will never get such a great look at how you're going to put things together as when you're standing right in the center of your business, of your location, and really just looking around and trying to figure out how you're going to set things up. Again, you can't do this from afar. You can't do it from memory. The last piece that I'll talk about, and we're actually going to talk more about this when we do our hospitality section, is around the face shields. So, when you think about what the shields are going to look like at your cashiers, if you have live cashiers in your business, how are you going to set those up? How are you going to make sure that not only are they functional, but that you can actually see through them, so that you can actually make sure that they are you can communicate, that you can pass things underneath back and forth, and that your cashiers are absolutely crystal clear on how they manage that process when you've now got a big old piece of plexiglass right between you and the person you're trying to serve. So those are really important pieces to be sure. So again, think about how you're going to clean your spaces. And when I mention cleaning, by the way, that is not just for your guests. It is absolutely for your frontline associates, for your team, for your leaders, in the office space, in the backspace, in the break rooms. You have to think about how you're going to clean all those spaces out so that you can make sure everybody stays safe, because your team experience is as important as your guest experience. So remember, put that safety, sanitation, and cleanliness and how you communicate that to your guests so that they know you're keeping them safe. Put that right at the top of your list of things you need to go out and crush right now so that you're ready to open. So we will be here every day together at 5:30 p.m. Eastern talking about the great service comeback. Please check out my website, igniteyourservice.com. Check out my a couple of my books. You can check out Where to Start. You can check out Recipe for Service. You can check out any one of these books that will really help you drive again, the most tremendous business and the most tremendous customer experience. And finally, of course, we will be here again for each other every day of the week, Monday through Friday. I will see you tomorrow. I hope you have a safe and amazing rest of your day. Take care.